on the offensive straight away. Jack Harrison here. Jack Harrison bringing the ball forward. He's played it into Pablo Hernandez, edge of the area. Hernandez goes for goal! What a start to the game! 17 seconds on the clock. It's got to be one of the quickest goals of the Sky Bet Championship season. Goes for goal! And finds the back of the net in sensational fashion.
Jones now for Leeds. And McNabb only half stopping him. Jones getting it across. And Clark going in! And Alan Clark has put Leeds ahead!
Down under. Mark Viduka is a sporting god in Australia and now in West Yorkshire. Here he is again. It's Viduka. It's four. It's all his own work.
Oh, good times, everybody. All the way back there. Flipping heck. Apart from, Lewis Cook and all that sort of stuff, which was the dark eras, but Mark Viduka, my God, what a man. What a mighty fine man. We're back here discussing the weekend's defeats. This is the debrief. It's white noise, whatever you want to call it. We will be going through everything Leeds United today, and I'm absolutely buzzing on Tuesday, as always, I'm finding myself with the fantastic David Brown. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, but it was nice to see some goals then, wasn't it?
I'll hear them.
Yeah.
How's it going, mate? All good?
Yeah, all good, my end, mate. Obviously, a bit of a deflating weekend, wasn't it? But as life goes on, we've just got to move on to Friday.
Yeah, we have indeed, mate. We have indeed. I mean, I guess it would be remiss of us not to, go on and be talking about, the game at the weekend, Leeds United. It feels like, Brownie, strangely at this moment in time, Leeds are maybe, there's lots to talk about here, mate. And normally we just get into it without any sort of show notes and we're able to do that because we're the greatest partners on the internet. But it feels like before the weekend, last Tuesday, me and you very optimistic going into it off the back of, obviously it was international break, but before it was a loss to Spurs and Leeds had done well. And then at the weekend, I think we kind of went into it and we thought, do you know what? Yeah, fancy it. And I was watching our episode back actually today. I was having a look at some of the things that I could pull out for it. And I guess the most poignant thing was me and you turning around and saying, yeah, it's a must not lose, but we have to win. We have to win this game. Have to win it. It can't be about draws. And I think we spoke as well on the show about 10 wins, having to get to 10 wins. And this, I think you said as well, I put it out as a short, Farke and his analysts, his scouts, whatever, anybody around him will have said, we target Burnley at Turf Moor as a win. Unfortunately, Leeds weren't able to get that done. And unfortunately, Brownie suffered a 2-0 loss at the hands of relegation rivals Burnley.
Yeah, deflating. How can I put this? We can't still be seeing a lineup with Jack Harrison and Brendan Aronson in 2025 lining up as our wingers. We just can't. Last time we got relegated, they're lining up in the team. We fast forward 3 years and they're back lining up in the team. It's just negligence. Can't say the word. However you say it.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, the news was breaking, wasn't it, about Okafor being out, and you kind of think that's a glimmer of hope for an attacking threat gone. I feel for him. I do, and I know people have got the knives out for him, and that I do feel for him a bit. We spoke off air. There was the tweet from Johnny Cooper. He puts out some pearlers, but this one just blew my mind. And I think as fans, we do see it this way as well. Yeah, so obviously the tweet on there is what I'm talking about, like the terms of shots faced against shots we've created. We're up there with the likes of, is it Arsenal and Liverpool?
City,
But yeah, at City, they've taken 9 points and we've taken 1. It just all boils down to what everybody said over the summer and the summer before that. We just need better attacking options. We just need better attacking options, and I'm sick of feeling like we have so many shots and then they'll go down the other end and have a shot and it go in our goal. I feel like it's been like that for 2-3 years. The 1-0 defeats last year in the Championship, when I'm thinking of the likes of Millwall and et al. We have all the ball, all the play. They have a shot, goes in. And
can tell you're marking like assignments and stuff when you put et al.
Yeah, well, it's just frustrating. It just feels like we've got the body of Margot Robbie and the face of Pat Butcher in the terms of our play. Like everything seems sound apart from that final third. But can you be surprised when you're serving up a free transfer and 2 wingers who wouldn't get into any other Premier League team?
Yeah.
I don't know how you can be surprised with a 0 being next to our column when that's what we're serving up.
Can I throw one back to you?
Can he change formation? Is that going to be the backhand?
I feel like you know what I'm coming with today.
I totally get that. Me and my brother were speaking. Can he go to a back 3?
Yep.
Can he play with wing backs? Should he have to?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've not heard anyone say that yet, but yeah, he's gonna have to, isn't he, mate? He's gonna have to.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But he's having to change his whole philosophy, which is working, by the way, with that stat you've just put up. We're creating far more chances than anybody else. We're not conceding many chances. So the shape and the team is set up right. I will throw that in there because we're facing far less shots than anyone else and creating far more. So how it's set up fundamentally is right. Should he have to change all that, go to a system that we've not used from the start of a game in his tenure at Leeds United because he hasn't got the tools at his disposal?
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think I said this at the very beginning of the season, Brownie, which is, I think me and you have always, and this is why I love having you on the channel, because I think you're able to see it from both sides. I know you're passionately from one side. I can sometimes be passionately from the other, but you kind of come to a respectful conclusion inside and stuff. I think the big thing for me is when you look at the weekend, you got a point when you're talking about us up against, for me, Forest and us up against Brighton and all this sort of stuff. When they're bringing Ashley Barnes off the bench and we've got Tanaka, Peru, Metra, Bill against Burnley. I'm not talking about Brighton because they've got they're a better team than we are, 100% across the squad. But when you're up against Burnley, I think there's changes in that side of which can benefit Leeds United. And I think in game at the weekend, when I'm seeing Tanaka coming on in the 81st minute, I'm seeing 45 minutes go by of which me and you've seen before. It's mundane. Changes have to happen. Even if you're sticking with this formation, Dan James has probably got, 40 minutes in his legs or whatever. But I think there are changes on that bench, Brownie, that could have helped Leeds. And I think we've probably got a better squad than Burnley. I would say when I'm looking at that, there are changes that could have been made for me.
I'm sure we've been on this show saying that Dan James hasn't had a good game since Oxford. So what suddenly makes him be the change that changes it? I mean, I'd rather have my next door neighbour on the pitch than Brendan Aronson. I get it. Totally get it.
That's your answer.
But when you look, and I'm going to sound like Farke, and at the end of the day, I couldn't give a monkey's toss about stats. It's the result that matters at the end of the day.
Well, it is.
It is. But 19 shots to 4 and 70% possession, you can't lose that game.
Yeah, I agree.
You cannot lose that game.
Especially against Burnley.
But it keeps happening. That isn't the first time that's happened.
So why do you think, because you know, from the attacking sense, we've spoken a lot about, I mean, I agree with you, by the way, in terms of I think when you're going into a season and you've got Okafor, who I expressed concerns to you about as soon as we signed him. Okafor, Ramazani's gone out, fine, whatever, fine. Joseph's gone out. We've kept, obviously, Peru, who's going to play a little bit part, Nonso, James, and then you kind of relying on like Aronson, etc. But then you look in the Championship, and I know Solomon's not pulling up trees at the minute at Villarreal, but still, there's a player there in the Championship who is potentially a better, well, he's a better caliber than Aronson out wide, isn't he? You've got Solomon, you've got Ramazani, you've got Nonso, you've got James, and you're kind of looking at it there, and you're actually looking at our wingers now, and you're thinking, what's stronger? Now that's a problem. I guess when you look at it from a different prism as well, though, Brownie. My worry in the last 3 games is the goals against have started going up as well. And I guess you can maybe concede Bournemouth, and although that last goal was criminal defensively, wasn't it? And Tottenham, but it felt a bit easy, that second goal, didn't it? It felt avoidable. But then you're conceding 2 against Burnley, and we can talk about, all the stats that we want, but I think that's my worry, mate, as well. We can talk about the attacking side, but we have got reinforcements. We can make this back line a little bit tighter, can't we? It feels anyway, and that probably would fall down on Daniel Farke a little bit. We're talking about the owners, bang on, but Farke, it feels at some point now has to string that back line and that midfield together a little bit to make us a little bit more difficult to score against again.
I mean, first of all, I think you're absolutely bang on. You took the words out of my mouth with the are we stronger in them wide positions than last year? Don't really think we are. And that is a big problem.
Yeah.
I think from what I've seen, Solomon would still start if he was at Leeds United and he was our Championship winger. In terms of making us stronger to score against, the stat that we've already put up, we're conceding fewer shots than 18 other Premier League teams. So that to me tells me that we are difficult to break down. But the ball's going in our goal fast. I mean,
I think a lot of it's. I think a lot of it's individual errors as well, isn't it? That's how you got to look at.
This is it. This Biol has to come into the team. I don't care how. He needs a shot now.
Would you be willing to go to a different formation? Would you be? Do you think it's something that he could do? He's played in it before, mate. He's played in it before, Biol. 3.
I would have gone. We were discussing it before the Burnley game. I'd have gone back 3 wing backs, Bogle, Goodmanson.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Glad you said that, because I think that works well. I think it works well. You saw Goodmanson and Bogle bombing on down those. I thought they looked way more effective going forward than Aronson and Harrison did. They look more like, I mean, I don't know if you were there at the weekend. We didn't chat before it, but at points it looked more like Jack Harrison was the left back and Brendan was the right back. That's how it looked. They were like almost decoys, weren't they?
Yeah, and I'm not convinced that goal should go in. It's a great strike. It's not in the corner of the goal again.
You were talking about the second one.
The second one. It's not in the corner of the goal. It's 30 yards out. I think it can be avoidable, definitely, of that shot even happening. I mean, I don't know why Ampadu is stood where he is. He's stood in Blackburn when he gets the shot. Stack no man's land, and the guy just seems to have oceans and oceans of space.
I'll pull it up now. There you go.
From that graphic there, I mean, them 3 circled on the left-hand side, one of them's Ampadu. Why? Why is he so deep? Stack is on the left-hand side. Again, backing up what you just said about Aronson and Harrison being so deep, and then Stack's having to get dragged out. This is Burnley, like you keep saying, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Burnley, but this is one of the teams that came up with us. They can't have that much space. Imagine if that was anybody, a Liverpool, would get murdered with that structure. The first goal is, again, someone in our penalty box with far, far too much time and space.
The ball in as well, the ball in. Brilliant
Yeah,
ball in,
so-
brilliant ball in, but it just seemed, what was it? A throw in. Darlow slices it out, and then you've got Harrison 2v1. Walker then just slings it in after 2 touches, and Ugachukwu can't miss, can he? He cannot miss.
No, but and I mean, despite all that, you've got the Aronson chance just before half time.
Did you think he was going to score? Did you want to? I didn't even get up out the seat. I didn't even get up. I knew he'd miss.
Did I think he was going to score? Yeah,
Really?
I did because he had the freedom of Turf Moor. I don't get how I'd have backed a good amount of people in that away end to put that chance away.
Yeah.
I don't buy into the XG thing, but it has to have been close to a full XG.
Look at the space he had around him as well.
There's
space.
nobody near him.
No.
Nobody near him. Yeah, for me, where I sit with Leeds, it's just that attacking. Well, I don't even know what it is. How many games have we had a 0 next to our name?
So you'd have gone. So you'd have gone if you had the choice. If you're the manager with the attacking presences we had, because I think you said that you wouldn't have brought Tanaka in for this one, and you weren't the only one, by the way. You wouldn't have brought Tanaka in, but with the bodies that we had available at the start, you'd have gone to a back three with wing backs.
I'd have gone back 3 wing back. I'd get 2 up top. Calvert-Lewin and someone, even a just do something different away from home. Anything to avoid having 2 wingers on the pitch who, I mean, I think they've got 1 goal between them in the last God knows how long.
They're not wingers, mate. They're not wingers.
They're not
wingers.
And it's kind of hanging them out to dry a little bit because they're not wingers. You're right, they're not.
You've literally got people saying put James Justin right back and Jaden Bogle right wing, and you're looking at that and you're thinking effectiveness wise. I mean, look, Brendan Harrison calls a decoy, wins free kicks every now and again, can hold the ball until he goes down. But I'll go this harsh with it. I don't think he's a Premier League footballer. I think there's a chaos factor he can bring on off the bench. I'm just not convinced with him as a Premier League footballer.
Who's that, sorry?
Brendan Aronson. Jack Harrison, I think he serves a purpose to an extent, but is he effective in what his position is? I don't think he is. I don't think he's an effective left winger or right winger. So, I mean, Brownie, we had a discussion last season. Jack Harrison last year would have been our 5th winger in the Championship. 5th winger, easily. And then Brendan, I think maybe with a little bit more space, is probably a little bit better because you don't want him in that central space because he's going to lose more of the ball because it's a more important piece of the pitch. You'll know that. In terms of just a cam, it's so important. But yeah, I think, it's massive. And I had a couple of Burnley fans messaging me, at the weekend, and they said, with what you've got available, you've got a couple of Burnley fans in the chat saying, I think it was probably lucky for us that you didn't go to a back 3. So yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. It might have to be, and you are right. Look, there should have been more reinforcements in the attacking third. But I guess this is what a top manager has got to do. He's dealt with this hand. There's no point. It is what it is. There's no point in consistently bitching and moaning to a certain extent about the 49ers and what's been what. You just got to adapt to it. Otherwise, we might as well just get that white flag, Brownie, and just go, right, we're down then. Just send us down because the 49ers didn't sort the summer. There's no point, And at least we know, mate, there's changes. There is changes that can happen on the bench to a certain extent, even if it is just Tanaka in and be all in. That is 2 good reinforcements off the bench, isn't it? At least with those 2 to a certain level. But there is the concern about the wingers. But then at least, me and you have just formulated, I know a lot of the chat can formulate some sort of system which might take away the wingers and, elevate those wing backs. And yeah. No.
Not allowed. And
Well, you've gone a bit grainy, mate.
You were at my end as well.
I was grainy. All right, guys, let us know. Have we just gone a bit grainy? Let us know in the chat. I can't hear Brownie all of a sudden.
I'm like a Dalek to me.
That's bizarre. So do you on me. Let us know, guys, if it's just us. But yeah, that's very odd. Very odd. Sorry, mate. I mean, I'm still connected. I think you're connected as well. Let us know in the chat if Brownie has lost his voice. But if I'm a bit meshy on his as well, that's a bit unusual. He's going to come back on. All right. But yeah, guys, so I think it's like we're going to get into your comments as well. We're going to get into your comments, and we're going to get into the sound of it really, and where it's going. But you can tell where Brownie's coming from, and I don't want to speak for him. I think there is a notion, and he's bang on, that we shouldn't have to change formation. But I think there is that adaptability strand that you need as a Premier League manager. As a Premier League manager, you need that. Oh, hello, you there? Yeah, it's weird, mate. You've completely gone Dalek. I can even hear it in the back. I can hear it in the background for him. Sorry, guys, not his fault. It's it's I don't know what's happened. I think he's dropped his phone in some rice or some water. But yeah, I think it's pretty abundantly clear when it comes down to it with Farke that he's going to have a different formation in his back pocket. Otherwise, what are we talking about? We just he's waving that white flag. Oh well, we're down then. We've been dealt a rough hand. We go down. I don't think the squad is horrific. So you just play to your strengths, don't you? You play to your strengths to a certain level. We've got to really take the offensive thing to no Okafor, it feels, and potentially, I think he's back now. All right, mate. No, he's gone again. But no Okafor and Willie Gnonto when they get back, and I get that to a certain extent, 100%. But there is a variation in formation. Should he have to do that? Probably not. But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? There's still been 100 million quid spent on that squad, of which Farke's never had before. And I'm not just solely blaming Farke, because that's wrong. It's wrong to just solely blame Farke. What a lot of people aren't doing is blaming the players as well. Accountability for the weekend. I thought there was some hiding. I thought there was some who maybe weren't up for the fight as much in certain phases of the game. Thought it was quite passive. Now you kind of get into a certain level of which, we're looking at players to really stand up and be counted as well, which is really important for Leeds United right now. It's a massive period for the Whites. Let's get into a couple of your comments. Rai says, I don't see Farke going to a back five at home unless Okafor is fit. To be honest, Rai, what I'd like to see is the terminology of that change a little bit. How I'd like to look at that, Rai, is a back three, because I don't see it as like an ultra defensive formation. I think it can work, so you all right back there, sir? Yeah, I can hear you. That's a... Nah, you're all right. Should be all right. Hold on, we'll get you on. Yeah, you're on, mate, I think. Yeah, I'll just have to change you around a bit, but go on. He can see it, basically. He can see it now.
Oh, my word.
Just go.
I'm going to have to go sit in garden, I think.
Can you move it down? Can you move the camera down a bit?
Yeah, that's fine.
There you go.
Yeah, some would say that's probably better for people to see a grainy face. But just going back to what you said, Conor, about reinforcements, what we spend, 100 million?
Yeah.
How much on attack?
Yeah, it was poor, wasn't it? It was poor from that level. I agree with you. I think it's one of them where
I can only think of Okafor that we spent money on.
Yeah, and that was naturally poor. It was very poor. It's interesting though, because I thought at the start, I mean, is it madness for you? I mean, me and you spoke about it being a possibility at some stage of the season. When do you think? Because you mentioned at the start, knives are sharpening with Farke. I think that is genuine. I think that is a thing for some of our fan base. 100%. And I think that is a thing. But I also don't criticize them massively, because I genuinely think they've got the full interest of Leeds United at heart. I think that's what they want. They want Leeds United to progress. They don't think it's going to be good under Daniel Farke. They want him out of the job. What I would say about that, though, is I think there's a balancing act. You want him to prove himself. My ideal scenario is that he adapts and we have that continuity and consistency. That's my ideal scenario. Do you know what I mean? I want him to adapt. I want Leeds to be a scenario where Daniel Farke is the manager, but maybe some of these tendencies stop a little bit. Maybe the in-game management, the silly little voice bites after matches in press conferences, which I don't think help proceedings. And I think overall, mate, I think it's just a little bit of an adaptability from him, from my perspective. But where do you think it'll start with Daniel Farke? Because we can talk about the players, right? We can talk about the 49ers, But I think there's probably going to be a conversation very, very soon about the gaffer, especially if it doesn't go our way on Friday night.
Yeah, where I'm at is I just want Leeds United to win games of football.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I just don't want to have to go to Swansea and Millwall and QPR next year.
Yeah.
I don't care how we stay up. We just have to stay up. I think the defeat at Burnley makes Friday night absolutely huge. I never say it's a must win. It's only a must win when you're mathematically done near the end of the season. I've always thought that. But for Daniel Farke, he has to take points on Friday night. It's not a must win for Leeds.
Do you think?
I don't think it's must win for Leeds. Like I say, I always say must win is when you have to win to stay up. That's where I'm at with must win. There's another 28 games to go. We're not on must-win territory. For Daniel Farke, I think it is. I mean, did anybody watch West Ham? Did you watch West Ham last night? They looked awful.
Awful.
Brentford could have scored 4 or 5. I think it starts to turn. If we were to lose on Friday night, I think big question. I think more people start asking questions than they are already. Because I think you're right. I think the knives are sharpening, and they were in the summer. A guy who got 100 points having to talk about keeping his job is just lunacy to me. But yeah, I think now he's giving more ammunition with not making changes. I mean, you can't get beat at Burnley and not make changes.
No.
Simple as that.
And presumably he'll recognise that as well, won't he?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I massively hope so.
Nope. He might have gone. I think I'm still here, aren't I? Am I here? I think I have. But yeah, guys, I think what Brownie's saying, it's vitally important that he gets this win. Vitally important that Leeds United are back with a bang on Friday night. And as I say, we'll get into a couple of your comments in the section below. And cheers for sticking by us on this, everybody. It's been a slight. Is he still on? He's still on. I think he said he's still on. Is he still there? Screen's frozen. Looks like a watch poster. But yeah, it feels like it's a big one. If Brownie does get back in, Conor Brownie. Hold on. You guys know, look, we're used to this, aren't we? Used to a bit of systematic problems, but stay with us. We will just get Brownie back in here. Where is he? There he is. Use this one, mate. There you go. Terrible, isn't it, so far? So apologies for that. Brownie, you could have got 100 points last season with the team. Yeah, losing on Friday night is, in my view, a distinct possibility. Nuno will work his magic as we speak. Tom says, West Ham will tip up here on Friday night. I think the thing is, with us having that 2 days extra rest, there's not much excuse really when it comes down to it. As well, they're a good team, West Ham. But come on, we've got to be thinking about this. Brownie's back in the building now, I believe. I can see him anywhere, which is good news. Hiya, mate. Sorry about that. You all right?
Yeah. No, am I here?
Good lad. You're right. I'll share the screen. Go on, what are you saying?
No, you're right. There are no real excuses for Friday night.
Yeah.
It's a game at home. We're at a point a game, which we probably would have taken throughout the season. You're in and thereabout. If you point a game throughout the season, you're there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
We can go 7 points clear of West Ham on Friday.
It's important, isn't it? Important.
7 points clear over a team that, let's be right, are in absolute disarray at the minute. They looked wide open on Friday. On Monday night, sorry.
Do you think
open.
Do you think it'd be easier for them to come to Ellen Road to get away from the London Stadium? Feels like that at the minute, doesn't it? Feels toxic down there.
Potentially, so many empty seats.
Hate the ownership as well, don't they?
Potentially, you're right. Ellen Road Friday night under the lights, hostile. It's a game that Leeds have to win.
Yeah,
not must win, but it's a game they have to. Because I mean, you see what's around the corner. I know we've got Brighton and Forest and Villa, but then after that, it's City, Liverpool, Chelsea. We've spoke about this in the Championship, mate. You need to take points as and when you can. Okay, so we've dropped points against Burnley. We need to go find them points somewhere else.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. Should we get to a couple of comments, see what people are saying? Let's have a look. Big Stack Meal has said, worry I have is sides on paper far stronger than us, below us, who have far more quality in Forest and West Ham, who for me are underachieving. I think that's always going to be the case, mate. I think that is always going to be the case. I guess you could make that argument for Sunderland as well in terms of quality of players. They've done well in the window, but you look at probably all the other sides in the division, they've got better quality sides. Like if you put West Ham's side up against Sunderland's side, you could argue West Ham have got a better side, you know, and Sunderland are about, you know, however many points ahead of them now. What is it, 8 or 9? Tom W, here you go, Brownie, one for you here. Farke is so readable. Same lineup, same formation, same subs, same minutes and same excuses. Farke's ego is fragile, and we know he wants to prove Aronson in the next coming of Christ.
I agree on the readable.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, we part of this. We like predict the lineup before the game.
Do you both get it right every time?
Yeah, and that's why I agree with him with being readable.
Yeah.
We both said it would be Aronson and Aronson. Not that we wanted that,
No,
but we knew what it was going to be. And it was the same in the previous game and the previous game before that. So if we can work it out as fans, it kind of makes it easy for the opposition to plan for what's coming. So I totally get the readable bit. Wanting Aronson and Harrison to work, other than changing your formation and going against your principles, I don't really understand what else he could have put there at Burnley. Dan James wasn't fit. Nonto was in hospital. God knows what's happened to Okafor, because on Thursday with the press conference, his name wasn't even mentioned, and then we've got Fabrizio saying that he's injured. Still don't know what's up with him.
So I thought you said that you changed formation though, mate, and that could alleviate that. Are you saying in the original formation, or are you saying like to a back three?
No, I would, but I'm saying if he was to keep the same formation,
okay.
There's nothing else he could have played.
Yeah.
Which then feeds back into what that comment said about readable, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you expect him to change formation?
Nah.
And that's what I mean in a roundabout way. Didn't expect him to change it, which therefore only allows Aronson and Harrison to play. There was nobody else to play.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Let me just get into a few more comments, mate. Let's have a look at this one here. As an outsider, you can't lose to West Ham. Ampadu was so deep because he had chased back to cover the whole left as Rodon was drawn over to the left, but Ampadu was then walking instead of getting back into position quickly. Yeah, you had a few words on Ampadu, didn't you, beforehand when it came to that goal, Brownie?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to watch it back, but I think walking is... I mean, the other players have managed to get back out of play other than him. And this isn't a knock on Ampadu. I think he's been brilliant this season.
Yeah.
But this is small margins in games where we needed 19 shots to not even score a goal, but then you've got the Burnley fella in the middle of the pitch in acres of space and not nobody. We're sacrificing our attacking output for 3 defensively minded midfielders. If that's the case, you can't have that much space.
No, you can't. Harry Gray contract though.
Positive, yeah. Good news
yeah.
about Harry Gray. Means we'll be able to sell him for more money.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Oh God, it feels like it's kind of come at a good moment for them as well, doesn't it? With, you know, Harry Gray's obviously going to be a fan favourite. You're all. I'm just going online and seeing it already. He's Leeds through and through. He knows what it means. It's like it kind of is perfect for the club at this moment in time, and it to just maybe get a bit of feeling back.
He knows what it is. He's Leeds through and through until he gets offered a 6-year deal on the full of money.
Gets to go link up with his brother in London at 17.
Yeah, whilst we're playing Watford. We'll see how Leeds through and through he is.
Big Sat Meal says Scott Parker is the new John Eustace for Farke. Yeah, there's a few with Farke.
It seems like that with Burnley, doesn't it? That we don't really seem to ever beat them.
Well, it was Southampton as well, wasn't it? You know, Southampton with Russell Martin. It was the same thing, wasn't it? 3 on the bounce.
Yeah, they do seem...
Well, Harvey said Sunderland fan here and thought West Ham was a must-win for us, especially because it was at home. Surely it's a must-win for you boys due to your last defeat.
Yeah, I can't disagree, Harvey. I try not, like I say, I try not to use the phrase "must win" until it's mathematically done. But in terms of the season, what's to come, there's no getting away from the fact that Friday night is huge. Even for them, though,
Massive for them.
If they were to come to the road and get beat, you've changed your manager.
Yeah,
he's no longer a new. He's had a few games now. He'll have had what, four?
Yeah.
Ellen Road. If they were to come and get beat, they've not had that new manager balance. They'd be 7 behind us, and we're only 15th or 16th, whatever it is. I think that's a good gap at this point in the season, and I think it's one that we'd all take.
Yeah. I mean, and then I've said multiple times. I mean, the optics aren't great. 2 wins in 8, and with the games that we've got coming up, Brownie, it feels very difficult now. I don't know about you, but I've said, look, if you get to beyond 10 points in your first, or like 11 points in your first 10 games, the statistics are really good in terms of not going down. I think the issue is when when you get into like November and December, there's no point talking about points per game anymore, is there? Because when you got Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Palace, all that lot, it's going to be difficult to talk about. Yeah, it's out the window.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the case all season with this Premier League. It looks, in recent years, it looks like nailed on 3 out of 4 is going to go down. I think this season, for a long period of time, going to be very hard to even pin one team going down, if I'm being honest. I know Wolves haven't won a game yet, but they're not
dead and buried yet,
not dead and buried, are they?
No.
But some are 2 or 3 points behind us if we were to lose. So in terms of points, a win Friday night takes us, what, 11th?
Yeah.
Every man and woman and dog takes that, don't they, after 9 games?
And cat.
And cat, mouse, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's tough one, mate. It really is.
Are you confident for Wednesday? Do you see...
Wednesday?
Friday, sorry. Do you see any... Confident for Wednesday, it's been a long day.
Well, just getting through Wednesday in general.
Yeah. Do you see any changes being made? Do you see a win? Have you got anything positive to cling on to?
Oh, I like it when you ask me questions. Got a little twinge there. I see us getting a win. Yeah, I see us getting a win. I've already said this one. I think, and it'll be really important. And maybe it's just my heart talking. I think we'll get a win. I think we'll beat them 1-0. And I think it'll be massive pressure. And I think they'll put a lot on us. But I'm hoping we just get round, I'm hoping we just sustain it. And I think Ellen Road's going to be big for us this year, Brownie. Our record, we've looked really good at Ellen Road, I feel. I think we've looked really good at Ellen Road. We've obviously Newcastle, Bournemouth, aside from that defensive lapse at the end, but Bournemouth have been superb this season. And you look even again, by the way, Bournemouth last minute against Crystal Palace. They conceded they conceded in the 89th minute, and then they nearly win it in the 89th minute. The Palace get back at them in the 96th minute or wherever it was. But Bournemouth have been brilliant this season. You look at Everton. Tottenham were slightly unlucky. So I think Ellen Road's massive for us this season. So I think we'll get a win, but I think it's going to be, I could see it being sort of Metcha style, almost like something like that, like a horrible deflection going in and like nothing lovely and beautiful, but I can see it being that, and that's all that matters. But then my head thinks that I can't, what I will say is I can't see us losing. I can't see us losing the game genuinely, but my head says maybe West Ham could come up to shut up shop as well and just not get beat.
I think if we were to lose, I think he starts to be under massive pressure.
Oh, huge. Well, you think about that, and we've just been speaking about West Ham a lot, right? If West Ham win, they basically do the exact same thing Burnley have done. Burnley were on 4 points. They got to 7 by beating us. West Ham win, they've gone from 4 points to 7. You can't keep giving teams that prize. You can't. I mean, a team below us is beating us. That you can't, optics-wise, that can't be a thing going forward, can it?
No, definitely not. Especially, like say, at home. I think the game, I could be eating humble pie here after. I think this game on a Friday night at Ellen Road has come at a good time.
It's come quick as well, on it. It's going to become, it's the first game of the weekend. I mean, it's only in like 3 days' time, isn't it? So I think under the lights as well for Leeds, the atmosphere. I don't know. We've seen these games over the years go well for Leeds, and as I said, could be eating humble pie here again. But it just feels under the lights, it's going to be a good night for Leeds. But Brownie, let's be kind of long term or mid thinkers here. They've then got to go back it up against Brighton. I think they've got to then get something, or they've got to get something at Nottingham Forest. It can't be a barren spell after that. You can't just beat West Ham and then lose to Brighton and then lose to Forest. I think you've got to back it up with one of those fixtures.
Yeah, it's a really important spell of games, like we've already alluded to, with what's to come. If you were to not take many points in the next 3, there's an argument that we could be bottom come the end of November.
Definitely, yeah. Which is it's my worry. Yeah.
So yeah, these next 3 games, big, really big.
Really big. What do you think?
I think we win Friday night.
I thought you were going to say, we're going to win 5-0. Kingy says, rephrase it. Can you see West Ham losing again? Absolutely not.
After what I saw on Monday night, why not? What would they have to be positive about, other than the fact that they're not playing in London? Because I think you're right. I think that could help them not being at home. But
I thought there was one man who stood out for them last night. Did you?
Go on.
I thought Somerville was the best player by a country mile. He was just the best player on the pitch for West Ham by a country. I thought that against Forest as well when he came on. He was lightning the bottle for him in that game. But yeah. But look, I'm confident with our fullbacks, to be honest with you. I think if he's on either side, I think our fullbacks will be able to. I think they've been the biggest positive for Leeds so far, Goodmanson and Bogle. So I'm pretty confident with those two.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an argument as well for switching midfield. Said it for a few weeks with Stack. And he seems to be the go-to guy to get hooked as well after 70 minutes. He seems to be the one coming off.
Looks like as well Okafor, from what I was reading today about the team news we spoke about this morning, looks like Okafor is still probably going to be out for this one. Nonto might be back on the bench. Perry, I mean, he sounded pretty. He was like, "No, Perry's definitely not going to be involved last week." So it makes you think, is he going to come in? It's not been that big a turnaround. We could be looking at a scenario, mate, again, where like Dan James is the option, really. And we'll know. I mean, Dan James I'm sure he'd be able to start, but the optics on Okafor don't look good at the minute in terms of him returning for this game from what you're to believe, especially about the injury. I think it's a groin. And then obviously Nonto's just off the back of hernia surgery, isn't it? Albeit it was minor, but I can't see them both starting. So then kind of what do you look at? Is it a case of James on one side and Harrison on the other?
This is why I said at the start. It doesn't help himself, Daniel Farke, because he's stubborn, right?
Yeah.
But this is where I feel for him. Like, we shouldn't be in a position where we're still having to use rely on Dan James being out. I know he was brilliant last year, but we've all seen Dan James in the Premiership night and day to the Dan James in the Championship.
It just shows that he's the perfect example of the level difference, isn't he? The perfect example. And
I'm going to sound like a broken record. We can't only buy Okafor and expect to have good returns up top.
Yeah.
Especially when Okafor's injured. It makes it look even worse. I wasn't Ramazani's biggest fan, but you'd most definitely wish he was still here now.
Oh, it'd be the first name up top, wouldn't he? Be the first name up there at the minute.
100%. I'll go back to the Burnley game, and I know we want to put Burnley's game in the dustbin and never speak about it again.
until we play him again at home. Yeah.
Inside the first minute, the ball went long. Calvert-Lewin won a flick on. It set Brendan Aronson away.
I know exactly which one you mean. It set him away.
Any winger goes on and gets a shot. He ended up getting the ball back to Bogle.
Yeah.
He couldn't take his fullback on. He then had to hold up play. Everybody got back in, and it went back to our right back, and we had to start again. And it was honestly, it was after about 30, 40 seconds. It was such a promising position. Calvert-Lewin did unbelievable to win the ball. He had
a couple of them early on, didn't he? A couple which he flicked on, and that was the best one because he was under pressure again. It was setting down a marker, and as you quite rightly said, he's away, and he's got space, and you take that in your stride. Second, third touch, get a shot away. It's for a winger in the Premier League. It's outrageous for him to be doing that. That's just getting back and cutting back.
it wasn't like it was on the half. He was deep into their half.
Yeah,
when he actually picked up the ball, it was about 10, 15, maybe 20 yards outside the penalty box, halfway into their half. To go back to your right back's absolutely criminal.
Well, I also thought as well. I'll be honest with you. Like we're talking about Brendan a lot, and a lot of people do talk about Brendan. I completely get that. Harrison was equally scared to take on Walker. Oh, honestly, Brownie, every single time you're thinking, go on, hit the byline. It's 1v1 every time he cut inside. He didn't fancy it. He didn't fancy it. And I just think to myself, get the ball out your feet. Look, he's a lot quicker than you, but you might get a ricochet. He might go out for a corner. Just take him on that left-hand side. You might be able to do one of those step-overs that you've done previously, get something in the box for DCL every single time. This is a guy who, by the way, at least we can look at Aronson and say, he's not really a winger, is he? But you look at Jack Harrison, that's what Jack Harrison is. He's a left winger. And I thought from moment one, mate, Kyle Walker bullied him. I thought he was petrified of him in that game.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen what Calvert-Lewin can do with good balls into the box at Wolves away, and the amount of headers he wins is unbelievable. But I mean, he's got to be getting pissed off. If you're winning all them headers to flick on to Aronson, to then go back to your fullback, there was quite a good few times where the ball's got laid into him. He's set it off as Calvert-Lewin, expecting someone to be running onto it. Absolutely nothing.
No.
So we're effectively playing with one striker, two wingers who don't score or assist, and three defensive midfielders. Can we be surprised that we're not scoring goals?
That's why if I'm him, I'm just going, well, at the moment, I've got nothing to lose. Just switch it up. I'm just like, I've got nothing to lose. You know, let's switch it up a little bit. The likelihood is we're probably not going to be profitable from this formation, these two up top, or even James when he comes on, because we know what James is like at the minute, especially off the back of an injury. Switch it up. Go to a back three. No one's going to judge you for doing that. I won't come on here afterwards and say, I'll say, do you know what? He's given it a go. He's gone to a back three. He's brought Biol in at the right moment. He's put Tanaka in there. Gone to a front two, even if Peru's up there, whatever. Try a bit of difference. You've got maybe like a 9.5 or 10 just off the big man up top, either Metro or DCL, because I think they're pretty similar, aren't they? And you've tried something. I think a lot of Leeds fans would turn around, even the ones who were against him, and go, do you know what? Fair, but he switched it up. You've asked for that. You can't bitch and moan about that now. And then you kind of look at the players, and then at least you can then look at the board, Brownie, and go, well, at least the gaffer's changed it around a bit. The problem is right now it's predictable. We know what's going to happen.
Bang on the money, mate. Like, I think it'd probably buy him a bit of credit as well with fans that
massively.
You know what? His hands are tied. He's having to change it through no fault of his own. He shouldn't have to change it, but he's having to. So at least he's had a go. But he just got. I mean, everybody was so deflated on that deadline day. Everybody, you could see it coming a mile off.
Yeah.
We just didn't have enough. And 8 games in, you see the injuries, and this is why we're using players that got relegated last time. By the way, players who we haven't used since last time as well. Jack Harrison didn't kick a ball for us since we last got relegated, and now we're having to use him again. I think it's...
Andy's a Burnley fan and said Farke has packed the team full of championship stalwarts, made it very comfy for us. Yeah. But then, as I say, it's the selection at the very beginning, isn't it? But I think that's probably the overarching message. Give it a go, Daniel. Try something else. If you've got nothing at your disposal, out wide, and Tanaka's got to come in. I think Biol's got to come in the back three. It's not amazing, it's not something out there where, you're playing a 4-2-4 or anything like that. It's a 3. You can fall back into a 5. I think, like you say, Brownie, a lot of people would be like, do you know what? And you'll hear it online. Well, he can't win. Of course he can win. Of course, I think he genuinely, the ones who are staunch, Farke out, Farke haters, whatever, that will be that. But I think from someone who's a little bit skeptical of him and who's never really been thoroughly convinced on him, if he's to do that, I'll turn around and go, fair play to him. You can't criticize him for that. So I don't see why not.
So we all look forward to a back four with Rodon and Struijk, and midfield three of Stack, Ampadu and Longstaff, and a front three of Aronson, Harrison and Calvert-Lewin.
Well, I think that's how it's going to go, and I think it's kind of just got to be one of those where Ellen Road's just got to get us over the line. I think there's been times where the lineups have been poor, but we've just managed to get over the line, and I'm hoping it's just one of those, because I agree with you. I think Tanaka might come in. The 4-3-3. Probably going to see, I would suggest Longstaff. I wouldn't suggest it, but I think Longstaff's going to come out. I think Stack will stay in. I think he loves Stack. I think Anthony will stay in. He's the captain. Tanaka comes in. I think it's I think James will probably start on that right-hand side, Harrison on the left, and probably Brendy on the bench, presume.
We just got to win, mate.
Got to win.
Just got to win. Got to win. Otherwise, that good start that we had has just been obliterated.
Yeah, well then it's like 9 points in 9, isn't it? Or like it's 8.
Yeah, or even worst case now, even less than a point a game.
8 and 9, yeah. Right, okay, mate. We'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining me. You're going to go with what are you going to go with? I'm going to go with a 1-0 on after all this. Blind faith. Oh God, what are you going with?
2-1 Leeds.
2-1 Leeds. You going for any goal scorers?
Harrison and Aronson.
Yeah, go on. I'll go with the Aronson winner.
Calvert-Lewin.
And
a centre half, score header.
And a centre half, right? Okay, good stuff. Right, okay, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. If you are joining a little bit late, you can watch this obviously right from the very start. You lucky sods. Apologies for the tech issues as well. That obviously is just a little bit of fault on my end. But thanks so